So you have some, African and Caribbean immigrants discussing FBAs. Like that, I'm telling y'all, ever since we delineated, everybody won't stop talking about FBAs. Now, they're saying that FBAs are privileged, okay? We're privileged. I want you to hear why they say we're privileged.
I heard Vibes Cartel say this, and he said, basically, like, just to paraphrase, that Black Americans, they're the privileged Black people.
The way he phrased it was Black Americans are the most privileged Black people on the planet. It's funny because when you tell Black Americans this, they're going to look at you like, what are you talking about? But I think overall, when you look at where everybody else is in the world, we're looking at the people in the States saying, yo, y'all have so much opportunity. It's just whether you're going to embrace it or not. You know what I mean?
What about the flip side of that argument, though? Just to be a contrarian, American come back to him and say, what about all that trauma and all that baggage that comes with our ancestors' journey to America?
I think Americans think they know what corruption is, but they never really truly experience what corruption is. Go to certain places in JA or certain places in Africa where it's like, yo, the government is like, bro, I had a conversation with somebody who told me he came from Eritrea and how nobody can leave Eritrea.
Yeah, I know, you can't. It's hard.
They had to, like, the man said I had to walk for 3 days, no food, to get to South Sudan, to get out of Eritrea, just get out of Africa in general.
Could you then make the opposite point that there's a guy living on the beach in Jamaica that has a little fish shack that has a much better quality of life
than somebody in the U.S.?
I think all those societal pressures, diabetes, all this overweight, the welfare system, the projects, and this guy just living easy on the beach, makes his little couple $100 USD and just lives for till he's 120.
But here's also the other flip side of that. Those people that live in Africa or those people that live in JA also exercise something that a lot of people on this side of the world don't, and it's called gratitude.
Quality of life wise, yes, we do have a higher quality of life than some places. Notice I say some places in the Caribbean or the African continent. They got places in the Caribbean and the African continent that is just about equal to America. I've seen it. I've been in these places. Okay? Been there. So what I don't like, and I've heard this before, that nobody puts down the African continent like an immigrant to this country. Nobody puts down the Caribbean like an immigrant to this country. They talk so bad about their own homeland. My thing is this. Why y'all always talking about FBAs? No matter what we got going on, privilege or no privilege, why are y'all using us as the measuring stick? I told y'all before, they look at us as the de facto leaders of the Black world. So they look at us and measure themselves collectively off of what we do. We're not sitting up there and say, I'm going to measure myself off of someone in the Caribbean. I'm going to measure myself off someone in the continent. It's like it wasn't no election to say, hey, okay, in the diaspora, let's all vote. Who's going to be the leader? Understand? And because they have looked at us as a de facto leader in the diaspora, then some of them are jealous about it. Let's call it what it is. They're jealous because some of them don't like it. That's why some of them don't like us, because we are been put into position as the de facto leaders of the diaspora, right? If we're quiet to issues in the diaspora, nobody cares about it. If we open our mouth about issues in the diaspora, people pay attention, people start caring about it. If we're quiet about issues with other groups, nobody cares. If we open our mouth about issues with other groups, people care. Hence to why you had Palestinians trying to come tell FBAs constantly why we won't say nothing about their situation. The same reason why you have Israeli people will come to FBAs and say, hey, why you aren't saying nothing about the attack or whatever. It don't matter what we say. There's millions of Palestinians. There's millions of Israeli people, millions of them. They have their own voice. They have their own platforms. But it did not matter because they needed FBAs to lend our voice to their cause. Understand? And listen, I understand that we are the de facto leaders. That's why I'm very selective in what I talk about, even globally, because we don't want to use the position that we have as FBAs, just giving it to anybody. The firm belief of the scripture: do not cast your pearls before no swine. I'm not doing it. I'm not casting my pearls before no swine. Not doing it whatsoever. I'm going to make sure if I cast a pearl, it's going to be toward the people that need it. You understand? But instead of sitting around having round tables about FBAs all day, which we don't have round tables about Black British people. We don't have round tables about brothers and sisters on the continent. We don't have round tables about Caribbean people. Like, and y'all not even in the room. If I'm gonna have a conversation about y'all, I'd rather y'all be in the room. That way, if I'm saying something that's not even right, okay, cool, let's correct that. But like y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about. It's just FBAs. I'm just wondering, because there's a lot you could talk about in your homeland, but everybody is still worried about what we got going on. Go and create your own privilege. This is the thing. FBAs go to the homeland and FBAs take advantage, and FBAs being flied, then they complain about that too. I've seen that too. If the FBA go back and the FBA living so good in one of their countries, so them same dudes right there be mad that the FBA went over there and did it. With me, I don't care if you get mad. I'm like, just like you got mad, you can get happy too, right? But man, worry about your own culture, brothers. Just worry about your own culture. Like it's more to life than discussing FBAs. I don't know if it's clicks or views you're looking for, but man, like y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about.